What is happening, everybody? trueeevil here, and we're on day 6 of Blue Protocol, and the ability score that you want to be shooting for today is going to be 9,000. And we're going to talk about what to do because there's not necessarily a new thing to watch out for in terms of life skills, refinement, etc. It's just really just building on that foundation and really getting all your drops today. So today is more of a checkup on figuring out what you didn't do. And I'm going to sort of walk through everything now. And the reason we're on the gear first is that you're going to want to make sure that you have all gold gear today. And it might seem a little weird because some of the dungeons do not drop certain gear. For example, you can't get bracelets from doing Tina's Mine Realm Towering Ruined, things like that. So what you need to make sure to do is I do recommend doing hard dungeons to get the gold gears that drop from them, just because there is a pity system for gold gear, and you might be doing a world boss for a while and it would just be much easier to do the dungeon, and you also get reforged stones. So what you're going to want to do for things like bracelets is find a world boss that drops that. The most important of these world bosses that I'm going to recommend everyone to farm today, if you haven't already, is going to be Iron Fang, and that is because he drops bracelets, which is something that you cannot get pretty much anywhere else at this point in the game. So definitely Iron Fang is going to be a huge priority, and as you can see, I've already farmed it a lot. You might be seeing people AFK farm this, and if you are trying to do that, I would actually recommend to do an active AFK. And what I mean by that is that you're going to idle in a world with a ton of people and have an alarm set. So once that boss dies, you're going to keep switching worlds so that you're able to get between 3 to 5 Iron Fangs every reset. Now, this boss does die very quickly, so you're going to have to be switching very, very efficiently in order to get multiple Iron Fangs. And I really highly recommend to do this just because, well, it's just the more you can beat, the quicker you're going to get the drops and do other things. So definitely recommend Iron Fang today. Another huge thing to make sure that you start doing today, if you haven't already, is farming Battle Imagines. I am personally maining Marksman right now, so I am going for Muku Scouts with my shards that I can redeem for wills, and then I am farming my elite keys for the Brigand Scout Leader. And what you're going to want to make sure to do when you prioritize is to get one copy of each of everything you need, and then focusing on only one to get to the third. Because at 3, as you can see here, the cooldown goes down by 20 seconds. So that's going to be really, really important. So for me, I'm going to build Muku Scout to the third dupe, and then I'm going to do Brigand Scout Leader to the third dupe. Now, this is going to take a while, and you need to be sure that you're getting all of your materials from the guild store, from the season store, etc., etc. Make sure you figure out all the ways to get your advanced materials so that you can improve your character the way it needs to be improved. And you might see some people with a much higher ability score today, and the way you're going to get that is by going and paying for the materials to create this early. And this is going to be quite costly, and I personally do not recommend it. And that is why I'm playing at DPS right now, because you can get by with Muku Scout and Brigand Scout Leader for a long time. And then once I have these comfortably built, then I am going to be building Tempest Ogre for my Shield Knight and getting a Rona through the gacha. But because I am not spending a lot of money right now, that isn't going to be a priority for me. But if you do mind spending, I would really recommend to get a Rona if you are a tank, especially because even if you're playing with friends, It's just really nice to just have a cushy full party revive when you're doing dungeons, learning things, because once people start wiping, everyone accuses people of messing up, and it's just better to have this to just like get around that, right? So the reason you're seeing people with whales is because they're getting the dupes. And the reason for that is the ones that you're seeing people have are the ones that give these flat bonuses. And although some of them are really good on the first weeks, it once you get to in game, it's better to have the ones with effects most of the time, except for things like Muku Chief. Muku Chief is always going to be primo for a DPS, but the thing is you need dupes for it to be better than the purples. So that's a thing to look out for on that, as well as if you're a tank, you want Tempest Ogre, Frost Ogre for those CCs, and then if you have the resources for it, then you equip something like a Rona. So you're kind of just like, you got all the summons as a tank. You're a summoner class, right? So just that's going to be a thing to watch out for. Another huge thing to make sure that you've been doing is getting the advanced books. They're going to be very paramount on your character in terms of just dealing damage, being able to do a lot of things. And the big thing to look out for is that the tier 3 advancement provides a much more significant upgrade than any of the other tiers until the final one. So definitely going to say make sure that you're getting tier 3 on your bread and butter skills. Personally, for me, what that means is as a marksman, I want to always prioritize the basic attack skill because it scales with the wolf. So I want to always make sure I have enough books to hit tier 6. But after that, what I want to do is I want to have tier 3 for the Storm Arrow, tier 3 for Wild Pack, and tier 3 for Focus, because those are going to be the biggest bang for my books. So that's how I'm going to do it, and I'm not going to put skill books into things such as the ult and things like that. So I just really want to prioritize this, and I think that's important. And although it might feel bad to not get that little bit of increase of ability score from upgrading one of those to like tier 1, I'm going to say it's going to pay off a lot in the future in the next couple of weeks. So trust me on that. I would also like to note that it's pretty much always easy to figure out what the max level is on the day because that's the level you're going to see most people doing on the hard dungeons. But I would make sure that you have the 46 talent points. Just mentioning it here, make sure you're doing your talent training quests, make sure you're doing the talent path, make sure that you're staying at the level and getting the amount of talent points possible. I highly recommend to go on and find a guide on something like max roll to really figure out, just like have a checklist every day knowing how many talent points should I have and what the level is, so you can stay up to date on that. And it's much easier to have a checklist while you're doing all your dailies than just to be like, oh, I think I know what it is type of deal. So definitely recommend having a checklist and figuring out what the level cap is every day and having it for the whole 19 days. As well as it might be nice to also talk about sort of what unlocks every day, just putting a little note. So when modules unlock, have a little note for that. When the next type of gem crafting comes up, have a note for that, have a thing for refinement, etc., etc. That's going to be really important, I think. So be sure to make a checklist for yourself just so you can pull it up and you don't have to pull up a YouTube video every day and watch like 20 minutes of someone just talking along, telling you what you need to be doing. Also, if you're running low on advancement books, if you didn't know that you can go to the Life Skills Exchange here and you're able to redeem some of the books from the other classes that you're not playing and using a potion so that you can make just a selector book. It's going to take 3 of something else, but at this point you probably have like for me, I have 14 Stormblade books, and I am never going to play Stormblade. So it's nice to just convert these now and get ready, because books are going to start costing a whole lot. And make sure that you're leveling alchemy to create these potions. You're going to need to get a grass material that you're going to be able to get from botany, and I would just start working on this. I wouldn't go too crazy, because tomorrow we're really going to be focusing on life skills, because life skills for the next couple of days are going to be absolutely paramount on increasing your ability score more so than other things. But today is the day to make sure that you're caught up on all of the farming and making sure you're just ready to go for life skills tomorrow. So let me know in the comments if this video was helpful and what else you would like me to make in terms of Blue Protocol content. I tried making a guide video for the dungeon, but it seems like a lot of people weren't that interested in it compared to me just going over what's good for ability scores. And it is nice and good to make a checklist every day, but I do also want to make other type of content, so let me know what you think would be best for you. That's it for today. See you guys.